this next guest we're going to have is going to be our guest speaker this evening. He found his way into just about every single photo there. For our graduates, he really needs no introduction, but for you guys, the next is Mr. Gary Minix. He's one of our instructors at campus. He's a vital part of our campus. Maybe I should just stop talking and let him talk. Mr. Gary Minix.
Thank you. I was going to put my speech on tape, but it wouldn't balance right. For the IT kids, I got an app for my iPad. It's a teleprompter, $10. Well worth it. I paid all rights and royalties for this one. Amber, Todd, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to do this. Graduates. I say that with great pride. Graduates. They say that every good speech should start with a joke, so here goes. There's two sock monkeys walking down the street. One walks into a bar, the other one ducks. Get it? They never said it had to be a good joke. They also say that, wait a minute. Who are they anyway? Who are they? They say that they have a tremendous impact on society, and they do. They have an incredible impact on our society. They say if you believe it, that you can achieve it. They say that your mind is limitless in its capability and capacity. They say that if you drive with your windows down and your air conditioner on, that you're wasting gas. They say that it's never too late for happily ever after. I can vouch for that one. I've got the sign hanging up in my room at home. It's never too late for happily ever after. I got it after my third marriage. I want to put this out here for all of you today, but especially you. They are us. We are them. Let me explain. Every single one of us in this room right now has the ability to impact this world that we live in. Have you ever heard of the butterfly effect? Butterfly effect. A butterfly flaps its wings around the world, and that breeze builds and builds and builds, and by the time it reaches us, it's a hurricane-force wind. In the human world, that translates to even the smallest gesture of kindness can become infinitely magnified given time and opportunity. When I was 19 years old, I joined the United States Army. I didn't know at that time that it was going to be on the 6-week and out plan. The bottom line, I was released for an inability to adapt to the military way of life. Can you imagine that? Me, unable to adapt to the military way of life. I can't imagine that either. Anyway, when I was being processed out, I was working in one of the offices. One morning, the drill sergeant handed me the keys to go open the NCO office, the non-commissioned officer's office. It was dark. When I got there, the master sergeant was there waiting for me at the door, and he said, Minix, huh? Yes, sir. Getting processed out, huh? Yes, sir. Going home soon? Yes, Sergeant. And then what he said next made all the difference in the world. He said, Well, don't let it destroy you. This country needs good people. Good people in all places, in all walks of life, all areas, not just the Army. You go out there and you do your best, and you're going to be fine. I can't tell you how much that meant to me. I came from a long line of military heroes. I had an uncle that was awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross for bravery over Nazi-occupied France. He was in a B-52 bomber. He was a gunner. And his gunny sack was hit by enemy fire. His partner in that turret was hit. His mask was destroyed. My uncle took his air mask and shared it with that other guy and saved that other guy's life, literally. He never talked about it. Never talked about it. So I was pretty ashamed getting drummed out of the Army. You know, I just didn't fit the mold. I didn't know what I was going to do, and I had honestly considered going down to the bus terminal and getting off the bus in Detroit and walking down to the Detroit River and just disappearing. I gave that serious thought. This guy who didn't even know me from anybody took a moment to reach out. Now, I'm sure he had no idea the impact that he was making on my life at that time. But that one act of kindness literally saved my life. I've never forgotten that. And from then on, I made it a point to pay it forward. Even before pay it forward was a fun little catchphrase. I love my job here at Career Quest. All of these fine folks up here are the main reason why. But I never really realized the real-life impact that I have on people's lives here. I hear the success anecdotes of students overcoming challenges to make life a little bit better, make their dreams come true, and the funny stories like one student, an extern at University of Michigan, who got frustrated and yelled out, "Sack monkey!" Somebody in the same office, a few computers down, stood up, looked over and said, "Oh, you had Mr. Minix too, huh?" Things like that make me laugh. They bring me a tear to my eye. I cried at the drop of a hat anyway. But it wasn't until late last year that I fully realized the impact that I had. In November of 2014, I received a call that changed my life forever. I got a call from my doctor's office telling me that I had a diagnosis of malignant melanoma. Melanoma is the most deadly form of skin cancer. 95% of all skin cancer deaths are due to melanoma. I was scared. The diagnosis was early enough where it could be treated, but it was thick enough to be worrisome. I didn't know if I was going to live or die. I started treatment at the University of Michigan Cancer Center. My first day, very first day, I ran into one of my former students there, Lori. She wasn't expecting to see me. I wasn't expecting to see her. She gave me a look like, "Oh my God, what are you doing here?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, what are you doing here?" And she walked over to me and I walked over to her and she gave me a big hug. And at that moment, I knew that everything was going to be okay. I knew that I was in good hands. Over the ensuing weeks and months, I was treated and visited by at least a half dozen of my former students. I can't begin to tell you how important that became to me. Instead of being a stranger in a strange land, I was surrounded by family. All of you are my family. I saw in each and every one of those faces not fear, but hope. And not just hope for myself, and hope for myself for recovery, but hope for the future. Because it wasn't just me that they were treating like this, it was everybody. Everybody that came into that cancer center. When I was sitting in the waiting room, watching patient after patient being escorted in, I saw that same look. Whether you are a medical assistant, billing and coding, administrative assistant, IT, each one of you have a golden opportunity every day, every single day to impact this world. Be kind. Don't judge. Remember that someday it might just be you on the opposite side of that phone line, or the help desk, or even on the other side of that infusion machine. Someday you may be staring into the face of someone that somewhere down the line you helped encourage, and you're looking at them for encouragement. And if you are as blessed as I am, and I am a truly blessed individual, then that breeze from the butterfly's wings will come full circle to caress your face with love. Congratulations, each and every one of you. I'm so proud.